these opening remarks, I would really want to start with this, the world's most massive tree. This tree is arguably the largest living organism on Earth, and some of you might know it is called the giant sequoia tree. The sequoia tree are known as redwoods or simply as big tree. It could grow up to a height of 300 feet and a diameter of 40 feet. So what does it mean? So it is equivalent to about 25-story skyscrapers, and it would take about 20 of you adults holding hands to circle its base. That massive. And the big tree could range in age from 2,000 years old to 3,000 years old. So you would have imagined, and I would imagine as well, how much such a huge tree will have an extremely deep-rooted system to support its sheer size. But interestingly, the giant sequoia tree or the big tree has a comparatively shallow root system. The next question I asked myself was, how do they actually survive for 2,000 to 3,000 years? They survive because they live in grove with their root system, entangled with numerous other trees. In other words, they support each other. They could not have survived alone. So the same principle applies to us. Overcoming the climate crisis is not the responsibility of a certain group of people, institutions, and countries. It is everyone's responsibility because there's no planet B. And according to climate scientist Professor Catherine Hayhoe, the author of this book, Saving Us, I recommend all of you to get a copy of that. Increasingly, climate guilt is being exploited today, less to promote societal good behavior, but rather as a way to shame people. Let us begin the Green Summit as a unifying force and not a dividing force. Be supportive, understanding, and respectful in many of the climate conversations we are going to have in the next few days. Throughout the entire week, you will have a chance to learn from our invited speaker as well as from your fellow delegates. And remember our why. Why we are here. We are here because, just listening from your sharing this morning, I know that all of us here, because we believe together we have the power to combat climate actions. We are here because we want to learn, like many of you say, we want to learn, we want to equip on how to communicate effectively about climate change. And all of us would have agreed that climate change is not only a science issue, it is not just an environmental issue, it is a health issue, food issue, water issue, and an economic issue. It's an issue of hunger, poverty, and justice. It's literally a human issue. We have an important role to play in reverting the climate crisis. The starting point must begin within. It starts from all of us here. First, connect with who we are to why we care. As clinical psychologist Professor Rubin Gordon points out, we humans constantly fall victim to the motivation trap. We wait until we feel like doing it before we act. In fact, Professor Gordon mentioned we should focus on value actions. This means that action is consistent with your value must come first and your motivations follow. Actions empower us. It empowers us as an individual. It empowers us as a community. It also inoculates us against despair. And I'm sure some of you may already experience despair at some point of your advocacy work for a more sustainable world. You are not alone. A survey found that young people who are anxious about climate change aren't paralyzed by it if they are able to act. So, take every opportunity here at the Green Summit to connect, bond, and be inspired. Bring your green advocacy work to the next level. And George Bernard Shaw once wrote, I really love this quote from him, that is, I want to be thoroughly used when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It is sort of a splendid torch which I have got for a moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it over to the future generation. I believe that the most gratifying life we can live is one that is committed to ideals that go beyond our own comfort and enjoyment. This doesn't mean living a life of martyrdom or always shunning pleasure. Rather, it means that building a remarkable body of work, we must commit to doing the right thing even when it's uncomfortable, and to emptying ourselves every day than deferring actions. The environmental problem we see in the world today will not be solved by people functioning at half capacity. We need collective advocacy. This is the very idea of like-minded people like all of you here coming together as a community to make a difference. Find opportunity to work together on climate solutions. Let's step out of our comfort zone and connect, like what Mr. Kim mentioned, as many peers to connect with as many peers as possible. For this gathering, with all of you here at the United Nations, will happen only once. At this time, every one of you will be at the different locations and country. So make it a point to foster meaningful friendship, make it a point to learn from the local communities during the Green Day, and make it a point to attend the Green Summit with a learning mindset. It will be your most rewarding and humbling experience. And now, I need all of you here to have a look at your conference badge. Take a look at your conference badge. Your name, your photo, and turn behind the back of your badge and be reminded of our collective mission here. Be empowered to create, protect, and preserve a sustainable world for the people and the planet. Let us begin our journey here with a grateful heart, right intentions, and collaborative spirit. And may I also wish all of you here who are coming to Thailand the first time, enjoy this beautiful and vibrant city of Bangkok. Thank you, and God bless.